Our guest speaker today, Lieutenant Colonel Floyd Roland, currently serves the Utah Army and Air National Guard as the Utah National Guard Senior Enlisted Leader. Lieutenant Colonel Roland is assigned as the Recruiting and Retention Commander for the Oklahoma Army National Guard. He holds a Bachelor's of Science in Organizational Leadership from Southern Nazarene University and a Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership from the University of Oklahoma. He began his military career in 1986 in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. He completed Forward Observer Training, Naval Gunfire Course, and the Close Air Support School in 1987, then the Platoon Leaders Course in 1989. After returning from the Gulf War, he transitioned to active duty and was assigned to recruiting duty, where he served until his discharge in 1994. Lieutenant Colonel Roland joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard in 1997 and received a direct commission in 1999. He graduated from the Armor Officer course in 2000 and Infantry Company Command course in 2005, Combined Armed Service Support School in 2005, Command and General Staff course in 2010, and the Advanced Operations course in 2014. His leadership and staff positions include Rifle Platoon Leader, Rifle Company Commander, Battalion S4, Squadron Executive Officer, and Brigade S1. In 2007, Lieutenant Colonel Roland began working in recruiting. He has served as the Resource Manager, Operations and Training Officer, Officer Strength Manager, and Executive Officer. He assumed command of the Oklahoma Recruiting and Retention Battalion in March 2018. Lieutenant Colonel Roland has been awarded the Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Navy Commendation Medal with V-Device, the Combat Infantry Badge, the National Defense Service Medal with 1 Service Star, the Southwest Asia Service Medal with 3 Campaign Stars, the Afghan Campaign Medal with 3 Campaign Stars, and several other federal and state awards. He and his wife, Lieutenant Colonel Tanya Roland, reside in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and have 2 sons and a daughter-in-law. Airman First Class Matthew and Lydia Roland, Monterey, California, and Specialist Paul Roland, Cambridge, England. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Lieutenant Colonel Floyd Roland.
Thank you. Push all the buttons I was told to push. There we go. Well, relax. Big breath. The day's here. You made it. This is it. Kind of like on the Tonight Show, right? This is it. You made it. Ready to go. I promise, as I stand between you and graduation, I'll try to keep my comments brief. I just want to tell you that I want to say thank you to the SMTC for asking me to come out here. Major Carlos Woodard, a good friend of mine, asked me to come out and speak. Very, very pleased to do that. I'm glad to be here. Nothing motivates me more than being around recruiters because you do provide the lifeblood, the end strength of our service. It's vital, the role that you're going to do, and I can't tell you, I love doing it. I've got one of my regional commanders here with me today, one thing I hear a lot of times is stay away from my recruiters, get away from my business, because I love to go. I love to go to the storefronts, drop in. It is my passion. As you probably heard from my bio, I've been in recruiting for a long time. I've been a production recruiter, although for another service, and then I've been in recruiting with the National Guard now. This is beginning about my 15th year in recruiting in some form or fashion. Love it. So just wanted to tell you my agenda, because I will not go over my time limit. I promise you that. So what I want to do is just tell you my 2 points. That's all I have right up front in case I run short. One, what I want to share with you today is be a National Guard soldier first. Be a soldier first and a guardsman. And the number 2 point I'm going to talk to you about is be about the business we hired you to do. And so I'll hop right in. As you can hear from the bio, I like to brag about my kids. Both of them have joined the service. My wife went out and joined the Army Reserve after 9/11 happened, we live that kind of lifestyle. And I want to start by telling you this is a lifestyle. If you signed up thinking you've got an 8-hour a day job, 40 hours a week, you're wrong. It's a lifestyle. You have to embrace that everywhere you go. Embrace it. You might as well give your spouse a handful of your business cards, because when your spouse is out, they ought to be passing out those cards as well. When you're at the grocery store 10:30 in the evening, you're still on the job. Everywhere you go from now on is on the job. It's a lifestyle. So when I go to drill now, right, I get up and I go to drill, whoop, and I am stopped. I usually get up on drill weekend because we're in the Guard. We still have to go to drill weekend. And I go stop at my convenience store. I get a cup of coffee. Monday through Friday when I stop, they think I live close to Tinker Air Force Base. They just think I'm in the Air Force. But on the weekends, they know right away. And they say, oh, you must be in the National Guard. And I say, yes, I am. I'm very proud to be in the National Guard. As a matter of fact, I'm a recruiter for the National Guard. Would you like to be in or know somebody who does? I ask every time. And I say that, and I think it's important because I've been with other AGR soldiers, and maybe you have too, when they get out and somebody says, are you in the National Guard? And they say, yeah, but I'm an AGR soldier. Those guys are weekend, they do the weekend thing, I go out and train. And I was always taken aback by how many people in the AGR system wanted to make it different, make sure that everybody knew that I do this full time and not the weekend. I'll tell you, do never be ashamed of being a guardsman first. That part-time soldier, that traditional soldier that we all started out to be, that's the lifeblood of our business. That's what we do. Those are the people that I love to be around because they're the citizen soldiers that we're looking for. They're the ones who went out and putting in a 40-hour week or going to school somewhere and then showing up on the weekend to do this because they want to. I'll tell you this. I think of what you do just like I tell the RSP soldiers that I send to boot camp every Monday and Tuesday. It's a hero story. If you've ever watched a hero movie, whether it be Star Wars, whether it be a Harry Potter, I don't know how depending on your age range, wherever you're at in life, whatever that hero story is, if you're a person of faith, you have a lot of examples of hero stories. But a hero story is much like yours. Somebody is drawn to that. When an applicant is sitting in front of you, I want you to understand first and foremost, they didn't show up there because you had the best college benefits. There was 12 other people that had a way to pay for college. You may have the best. There was 12 other ways to do it. People are drawn to service. When people come in, that is a calling, just like it was for you. They are called and drawn to sit in front of you. And then it's your job to convince them that we are the place that they want to serve. But that young applicant, just like yourself, makes that decision, and then somebody has to guide them. Somebody has to be that guide. You know, Luke Skywalker has to have an Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you're going to be that person that starts to guide them through this process of getting into the military. And then, depending on how your state runs the RSP, you may hand them off, or you may continue to help guide them while they're preparing to leave for boot camp. And then we're going to explain to them that, hey, boot camp is just the forge. It's where we're going to really kind of put the iron in the fire so we can bring it out sharp, razor sharp. And that's going to be your job, is to explain to them how that they fit into that hero story. And I want you to know that at the end of that hero story, there's always an adversary. And our adversary is fear and doubt. For them, it's going to be going to boot camp. For you today, because you're my heroes, fear and doubt might be what's faced of you, the mission ahead of you. It's tough. It's a tough job. And that takes me to my second point. I want you to be about the business you were hired to do. So, there's a lot of things that go into this business. You've spent the last few weeks learning all the things that go into making a recruiter and a successful program. When you get home, you're going to have at least 3 people, your NCOIC, your sergeant major, and your battalion commander, who want to know one thing. How many people did you put in the Guard this month? I want you to make no doubt about it. This business is about putting people in the Guard. People come to this, I see a lot of soldiers come to recruiting, and they come from marketing backgrounds, and they want to get the word out, and that's great. At the end of the month, it's about putting somebody in the Guard. And I want you to keep that in mind. I will say that several times. Know this, you're going to fail at some point. In all the things that we're going to ask you to do, you will fail somewhere. There will be something you suck at. And so as we start talking to you about all the things that you've got to do to be a successful recruiter, there's going to be one thing that you must not fail at, and that's prospecting. You must not fail at prospecting. Every day you got to get up and you got to make the phone calls that you maybe you suck at phone calls. Tough. You got to make them anyway. Maybe you're shy about social media. Too bad. You got to make those tweets anyway. You don't like school presentations? Get over it. You got to make the school presentations. Prospecting is something that we cannot afford for you to fail at. I can afford for you to roll a donut 1 month, as long as I can see that that pipeline is full. But man, if I look out and I can see that there is nothing in your pipeline, that you are not prospecting, that kind of gives me an indication that we're laying down. So I'm telling you, you can fail at many things. You can suck at many of those activities, but you can't not do them. You must not fail at prospecting. Prospecting is the business. We got to be about the business we're hired to do, and that is the business we're hired to do. Follow the process. I want to tell you this. So to tell you to go prospecting and be about prospecting, we should also say, here's how to do it. So you've been given the process. You've been taught the 5121+1. You've been given the guidebook, 6011. There's all the resources that you need to know to how to do this job. Follow the process. You're going to come to a point where you're going to think, I'm ready to do this on my own. I've got my own way of doing it. Follow the process. It's going to be especially important when the times get tough and you start to wonder, what did I do? What am I not doing? What am I doing wrong? Well, go back to the process. We taught you a process. Follow that process. So I love my favorite actor, Denzel Washington. Listen to him. He's got a quote, and I think he said he got it from his wife, said, to get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. All right, so we're going to ask you to do a lot of uncomfortable things. We're going to ask you to go out every day, and 100 times a day, we're going to ask you to ask somebody else to join the Guard. And you're going to get told no 99 times. That's kind of that failure. You're going to have to get used to that. But you're looking for that one yes, where that success is at. But in order to get to that one, you're probably going to have to do some things that you never did before to get there. And you're going to have to do that daily and daily, daily. Prospecting. It's all about that prospecting, whether it's be phone, social media, high school presentations, COIs. You got to be about that. And I'll tell you this, when it comes to that consistency of doing this job, my greatest fear as a commander is having to think how many recruiters I have laying in their beds on Sunday morning, looking up at the ceiling, thinking, what in the hell am I doing on Monday? I don't want you to ever be that person. Have a plan. Work the plan. That plan is vitally important because Monday will come. Monday will come. I hope that you never have those Mondays where you're sitting there laying, what am I going to do? Have that plan. The plan is if you can be consistent with that plan and work the plan, be very, very diligent about working the plan. That consistency will get you through. It's going to be there because the tough times are going to come. The suck is going to be there. You got to work the plan to get through that. The last thing that I want to tell you is I want you to listen to the person inside of you. Because you're sitting here today wearing a uniform. That means at some point, the person that lives on the inside of us is a very confident person that thinks that we can do anything. It's a resilient person that overcomes most everything. It's a very forward-thinking person that has the best in our interest, and it's a person inside of us that doesn't quit. I'm reminded when I think about this person inside of us of a scripture that I was taught. It says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Listen, recruiters, you will have days when you get up on Monday and you're going to be, this person inside of you knows what to do, knows to go work a plan and be diligent and consistent about working that plan. But you're going to be one behind and you don't have any prospect for this week. And the flesh in you is going to be very weak. The flesh is going to say, man, it's time to give it up. I'm telling you, listen to the person inside of you. The reason I know you have it is because you're wearing this uniform now. There was a time when we tried you. We put you through the forge. We put you through boot camp. And you had to listen to that person inside of you then. You had to let that very resilient and confident person shine through in order to get through boot camp, to wear the uniform you're doing now, to get through all the deployments. I see some of you have several deployments. Let that person shine through every day. Let that person become the person you are. Confident, resilient, that person can overcome the Monday. Discipline and consistency is what I should just leave with you. Be disciplined in working your plan, consistent in working your plan. And then the last thing, don't confuse your movement with progress. So you're going to get out there and doing a lot of this stuff. I'm making a lot of phone calls. I'm going to a lot of schools. How many people are you asking to join the Guard? I've got too busy working my plan. Well, the plan leads you to ask somebody to join the Guard. Listen, you can get really busy in this job very quickly, doing a lot of things that do not lead to success. So do not confuse movement and a lot of activity with success and with progress. Be about the business we hired you to do. Prospect, prospect, prospect. Put somebody in the Guard at the end of every month. Thanks for your time today. I got my high sign. I'm going over my time. Thanks for having me here. Sergeant Howes, appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you for those words of encouragement, Lieutenant Colonel Roland.